Who is excited for a little bit of Team Liquid's Clem, the blue Terran in the top right, and Team Clash's Reynor, the red Zerg in the bottom left? It feels like it's been so long since we got to cast these two up against each other. They have been playing each other fairly frequently, but I do believe Reynor has been getting the better end of the deal as of late. I know he won a best of 9 show match against Clem 5-2. I get the feeling he played against I got the feeling he played against Clem fairly recently that I casted as well, but why am I not remembering that? I feel like I definitely uploaded it to YouTube. So I'm just kind of out here like, huh, what's going on? And by the way, hi YouTube, you think this isn't going up? Of course it is. Oh, it was actually just last week's semi-finals. Yeah, of course it was, because Reynor looked amazing against Clem and then even better against Reynor. That is it. I remember now, of course. So yes, hello YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is going to be a banger. When isn't it? It's Reynor versus Clem, of course. But yeah, these guys, they in April and May, they played against each other so much. Now they are going to play themselves, now they play each other in this kind of, now they play against each other in this grand final of an ESL Open Cup. They played a couple of days ago. Again, this is kind of the third time they've played in June, but all 3 of their meetings have been within the last week. Obviously, the first meeting in June being that last week's semi-final. Yeah, that is what I casted. I just didn't remember which tournament it was on because, everybody's playing so many tournaments and all that kind of stuff. As you do see the CC on the natural from Clem. Honestly, Reynor's ZvT looks terrifying. These Hydra Lurker games look amazing. He looks really decisive. He looks deadly. His muta play is good. He's just taking maps. He's just taking the entire, all the bases that exist. He's getting creep spread everywhere. And just in general, looking fantastic. So, I mean, Clem always looks great, though. That's the thing. And his TVZ always, I think, looking the best. So really excited to see, obviously, what happens when you put them against each other to clash. Reaper coming through, Ling's taking a bit of damage, and we do have the Reaper having to back away a little bit. A couple of drones just mining away, and the Queen is going to be finishing on the natural with the 3rd hatchery already down. Reynor really enjoying taking this base, and Never Dream did the same against Hero Marine, of course. Maybe just getting blocked a little bit and deciding to go there. Again, Reynor going for the safe high ground creep tumor as well. Also did this against Hero Marine and going Overlord speed. So really making sure he just gets to see what's up, know what's coming his way. He's not going to be caught off guard by anything here in the early stages. As you see, our Overlord speed about halfway done. Starport building in the main from Clem. And again, just a few Lings out the front. We do see a creep tumor going down from Reynor. So I guess that creep tumor started. The Reaper will not go up into the main base just yet. And again, the Queen, a bit more damage. Reaper taking a few shots. Doesn't really have anything to do here, right? I mean, initially maybe looked like it was going for the creep tumor, but put a lot of hits on the Queen, or a hit on the Queen, and it wasn't really close to getting the creep tumor at all, as we do have the Reaper just back through the center. Going to have 2 more Hellions joining up with this as the Marine comes straight through and pushes this Overlord up away to the top side, and Clem just going to start a Cloak Liberator. Obviously, Liberators can't cloak, but that's the fake out, right? He's just going to go Liberator when in fact it's actually just going to be, he's just going to go Liberator and he's going to fake it out being Banshee. As Reynor comes in, sees this, of course. I mean, that's the thing, right? Eventually, Reynor's going to figure out that it isn't. But the idea is to try and force spores in certain positions, and more spores than are maybe necessary earlier in the game, right? So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at as Reynor just goes into that lair. So he is going to be playing a pretty fast lair. So he doesn't usually play Hydras off this, right? Because if you go lair this quick, you get Bane speed. Usually, you combine that with Aspire. Now, I think Reynor once or twice has done that, just pure Ling Bane with a faster Bane speed. But usually, if he's going to play Ling Bane Hydra into Lurkers, he will play the faster melee upgrades. Maybe it's just something he feels like he needs against Clem, or maybe that's just a stylistic choice here in this game. It is a switch up from how he played, some of these maps earlier. So, keeping that in mind as this factory loads up. It's going to move up, drop the tech lab down. I'm going to see an extra racks here from Clem. On the bottom side, we've got Hellions, a Reaper in the middle as well. And just going to be seeing our lip from Clem trying to set up. Going to get a few of these drones already. I'm just going to be seeing this Cocoon going to get cancelled up right away. Hellions making their way down. And, well, there's a lot of Zerglings here, so having to pull back right from the start. Doing a pretty good job of this and just keeping away from any real trouble, as we do see the Liberator in the main base gets a couple of drones. Lots of drones being forced away from mining, if nothing else. I mean, these drones, I don't even know where they went to. I don't know where they came back from. I lost track of them. I thought they were on the natural. They weren't there. They probably just halfway to the natural, then turned back around, as we do see the first Hellion there gets picked off. So Hellion gets taken down. The Liberator will return back home. And this command center of Clem going to finish and morph into an orbital command already, with these couple of refineries finishing, a few SCVs starting to mine that gas. And again, Liberator, Hellions, all of that setting up, with the 1-1 on the way, and the siege tank building from Clem in the main base as well. Again, Spire and the Baneland Nest on the way, so it will indeed be these Mutalisks as we set up into our game number 1. Again, best of 5 in these finals, so really always so great, right? Because we're at least guaranteed 3 maps, but can absolutely go the distance as well. As you see, this Ling gets picked off on the right side already. 1-1 upgrades coming through, and obviously combat shields from Clem as well. And again, 1-1 will be his advantage for the most part here, as Queen's able to turn those Hellions around, so they get pushed back out to the right-hand side. Armory is built on the natural expansion, and 3rd CC of Clem lands straight down into position, into location. Really not messing around at all as the grenade drops. Just going to be seeing the Hellions continuing in then. There's a little bit of a push coming in too. There's a Liberator now heading to the main base. And this is kind of scary. Banelings are not ready, and Reynor's just not ready to deal with this at all. He will catch a siege tank in the back though. That's big. I mean, just no medevacs with this either just yet, as the Hellions will be a big part against the Zerglings. The medevacs finally getting here, but too late for any of this healing to really come through. And Clem is going to escape away up the left-hand side with these couple medevacs backing away. So, yeah, it was good and bad, right? Like, it was good because he denied a lot right away, but it's kind of bad because he then didn't have the medevacs to heal. If he has the medevac healing there, he might just... I don't think he wins, but he does so much more. And obviously the first tank got caught off guard as well. So Clem only got damage done because he did deep dive and he gave up units for it. Wow, he's going to go 8 racks. This is very unlike Clem as well. He isn't really much of an 8 racks player. Then don't get me wrong, he mixes it in. But usually he really is, oh, take my 4th base, multitask around, drop everywhere kind of style. That's how Clem plays. So to see him playing in 8 racks... interesting. Hydroden and Infestation Pit. So Reynor's going to transition away from Mutas. So instead of more and more Mutalisks, he's going to make his move instead to the Lurkers, the Hydras, that different composition, the one that looked so good for him in previous games today. Now, is that a bit greedy when you're going up against an 8 racks? Because if you end up kind of being, attacked while you're going for a second set of tech, you're trying to get Hive up, you're behind on upgrades, to me that seems terrifying, but obviously, Reynor sees all of this. He sees it's 8 racks. He sees there's no add-ons. He knows how committed this is and how early it's going to come across the map. So he obviously believes in his ability to defend this here. I don't think he's going to find a chance to build Hydras or anything just yet, though, or Hive. Because Clem is, again, without the add-ons, you really look to hit ASAP and start fighting early. He is going to go Lurker down Hive. Wow, honestly, I'm kind of shocked because I really do look at this. I really feel worried about whether Reynor will be able to hold this at all. Pushing forwards here, Marines taking the charge. Not really a position the Lings want to run into there. Yeah, they've got a bit of creep, but nothing crazy as Marines trying to rally up in the main base to fight this off. Again, it's a lot of fights that are being won by Clem, a lot of, kills that are going Clem's way, and then nothing really getting, done in return by Reynor. Now a few Banes are going to sneak through these Marines, taking a few shots of damage. Stims in, gets a Queen, going to get another Queen as well, perhaps. We'll get that and take it down. Brings the Banes moving out. The Mutas again back in, and a few Marines dropping. Now some Marines from the right-hand side as the Mutas are going to come in, go straight in for the siege tanks. Banes are firing. Marines pulling back. Lings continuing through. The medevacs trying to heal up as the rest of these Marines coming into play. I mean, nice to get rid of the tanks. Reynor has so much money in the bank. He is making his way to the first Hydralisks now. Obviously, when Hive finishes, he probably still needs seismic spines to make these Lurkers really good, but even a couple Lurkers might be able to hold a position and slow Clem down, and at the moment, slowing Clem down might just be the name of the game. Lings and Banes continue to run through. Those tanks get sieged up the left-hand side. Mutas from Reynor pull back up the top. Liberator continues along. I mean, Marine's getting a lot of these Banes. We're going to be seeing the Siege Tank. Big shot there. Good damage done. Queen up the left-hand side. Rest of the Ling Bane Hydra coming through as well. The Bio Army going to go all the way out to the far left. Going to go for the Queen. Picks that off right away. And again, the Lings and the Banes maybe wanting to run into this right now. A couple of extra Banes setting up. The Lurkers. Well, one Lurker fires already. The Marines continue to kite backwards. And perhaps wanting to come back into this once again. The Bane's still moving through. We are just going to be seeing still some extra Lurker shots going down. The Lurkers have really saved this position. As Clem, he's slowing this down himself. He's taking a 4th base. He still hasn't really set up the add-ons or anything on these racks, but he's going into the next stage of this game. There is a follow-up, right? He's not just staying on the 3 bases. As the tanks and liberators get here, actually the Lurkers do have to back away a bit. Oh, but the Marines line up in Lurker shots. He'll kill the base. Okay, well, Clem's now done with this left side of the map, and that takes away his powerful push out from the 3rd. Now he needs to push the bottom side. Tell you what, there's barely any creep in the center of the map. There's a huge street of creep up the right. A few Marines running over. The Muta's still trying to be an annoyance. Well, the lack of creep in the middle of the map's got to be terrifying, because now, okay, ignore this base down here. Just push the 3rd. Look at the position you get in. Liberators sieged up. Vipers are going to arrive. Blinding clouds on the tanks, but the Ling Bane was already backing away. I say a Ling Bane. There's only one Baneling left. If he has a scan here, Clem, he'd kill so many of these Lurkers. He doesn't realize how close he is to just doing so much. The Muta's got 13 SCVs across the map. They're coming back home now as well. There's the scan. Lurkers going down. Marines coming through. They're going to target down a Spore Crawler. Again, Lurker's still taking a bunch of extra damage here as our Bio Army spreads out. Lurkers Muta's trying to see what they can do. Liberators are going to siege up on top of this, and we're going to see these Lurkers taking a ton of damage. Muta's showing up. The Lurkers are all going to go down here. 7 drones picked off. Now we're going to have our Marines coming in, and they're going to chase a little bit on this high ground. And Clem has had enough momentum to pull himself through this. The Lurkers weren't enough to properly hold this position or the position on the left side. And Clem smells blood in the water. He's going for the kill. He's not just backing away and taking the 4th. He's just going to die for the natural. And Clem will take a game number 1 of this best of 5. Clem 1, Reynor 0 in a stunning first game. As in the bottom left-hand side, we do have the blue Terran player. Up 1-0 from Team Lakewood. It is Clem. I do hope that this is not another 3-0 though, like we had in our semi-finals. Would be nice for this to maybe go the distance, you know. As in the bottom right, our red Zerg is Reynor. Game 2 of this as we get this up, running, ready to go. The drones continuing up. Refinery is getting going. Just going to be seeing the startup here on Golden Wall. I mean, obviously, Reynor looked great on Golden Wall against Hero Marine. He obviously looked great against Hero Marine on Everdream as well, but thinking back to how Everdream played between Reynor and Hero Marine, it was a big scout for Reynor. He took no damage early, and he ended the game with the Roach attack, right? So, that was a pretty big deal. Overlord hanging around and just setting up. Reaper is building in the main base, and just going to see this SCV moving out across to this right-hand side. So, moving this SCV across, going to go into the natural and have a little bit of a look to see what is indeed going on. Game 2 of this grand final here today, of course. As do you have a couple of queens building, the Lings on the way out. Command Center just building up on that natural expansion as well. And Clem's Reaper going to go across to the far right-hand side. So Reaper coming across to the far right, going to get a hop up into the natural, and looking to see a little bit of what is going on, of course. The dance begins, the Lings versus the Reaper. As you see, the Lings getting there. Reaper take some damage. So a few shots at the moment. Queen popping out and just going to push the Reaper away. So Reaper taking a few shots there. Grenade goes down and just going to be seen at command center on the natural. Going to be finishing up. As they do have the Reaper taking some shots. Factory going to finish from Clem in a few moments' time as we see the third CC. Setting up from Clem in the main base. Second gas not taken just yet as again the link speed setting up. Third hatchery on the way down. Starboard building in the main. So getting that starboard up and running as we do have again hatch coming through. Trying to get the creep tumor. Just still dancing with Lingus. Will not get the creep tumor at all, so yeah. 3cc from Clem means nice macro focused opener. We'll see what he wants to build off the starport. Definitely potential for a tech lab into Banshee. Potential for just going into a Viking or so early on. Definitely a few ways to do this. Or the Liberator once again. Very similar to the last game, just with the 3cc a little bit earlier. So this should just be a tech lab and a stim pack to follow up. And again, Reynor just overload speed. This time a bit later, not before Ling speed. So he'll still get it just a bit later on. And that's going to be giving him that scouting information. Really just wants to go into these fights. Or into these games, into the mid games. Really aware of what's going on. So, yeah, really kind of looking for that as we do see these Reaper and a couple of the Hellions set up at the front. The Liberator is building in the main base as well. That's going to be popping very soon. And these couple of Marines going to get straight there to put some damage out onto this Overlord. So Overlord is going to get pushed away from the main base. Liberator is actually going to come in for the kill. How often do you see a Liberator kill an Overlord? Well, not even now. Liberator didn't get the kill. The Marines got the kill. God damn it. I thought the Liberator just about made it. No. It's slightly unfortunate. As you will see, Hellions getting a creep team at the front. A couple of racks and engineering bays all setting up as well. And again, just having the Evo Chambers from Reynor. So he'll go Evo Chambers early, get those melee upgrades started. It's kind of funky. He's changing up what style he uses on each map, even between, you know, games that just happened a bit before. And yeah, just kind of changing up a bit, right, in general. Really good, changing it from, you know, how he played against Hero Marine to how he plays Clem on each map. Which is fun. If you can transfer your styles to different maps like this, it makes you unpredictable. It means the Terran has to keep scouting. It's hard for the Terran to just go into a game and be like, right, he's probably going to do this here. This is my plan. As the lab builds in the main base, a couple of creep tumors going down. 1-1 upgrades are starting from Clem as well. And we do see the extra racks in the natural. There goes Clem, the orbital command, going to land out the front in just a few moments. Our Hellions still setting up, going to grab a creep teamer to begin with. There are those Zerglings setting up on the bottom side and waiting for a chance to jump in on something. We see a fourth hatchery of Reynor in the top right-hand corner. And again, 1-1 upgrades just continuing along from Clem as the grenade goes down. The Queen gets bopped away to the side. The Hellions trying to make sure they can get out of here, but they're going to be kind of backed into a corner, but good play, good targeting, and looks as though he might get out. He's actually now going to try and go for the Queen, but it costs him a Hellion. Obviously, he's trading out with the Zerglings, but more Lings are showing up. So how many of these Lings can he kill? It's getting pretty close, and more Lings coming in. He's going to lose these Hellions. So in the end, Clem's going to lose out on his Hellions and lose a lot of the early map control. And on a map like this, Reynor having full control early. Boy, there's going to be creep spread everywhere. There's base in the top right's already setting up. It's going to be difficult to push anywhere on this map. I mean, Clem's going to move out now. Marines and 2 tanks. The medevac's already boosting over to try and join with this army as Stim is done. 1-1's about to be done. Does need to remember his combat shields, though, else he might be in some trouble. It's tough, right? You don't really get anywhere important with this push. And I think, I mean, he goes into 3 more racks, so he's going for the 8 racks here. Eventually, the plan with the 8 racks is generally to end up here on this high ground, and then you control this low ground between the natural and the third base. And if you can control that low ground, that's a pretty big way to go about this, right? So that's a pretty big part of it as we see Marines and tanks pressing forward. And do you see the Queens coming through, man? The Lings are going to come in for the flank, and the tanks are going to get engaged into right away. The Marines are going to get caught by Banelings, and yeah, I mean, the problem is it just takes Clem so long to get into any sort of position here because of where the creep is at, that by the time he gets there, he's just being overrun already. And, well, again, now we're sat waiting for 2-2 to start, waiting for him to go for this 8 racks, and it just feels like with a start like this, an 8 racks is going to be really, really difficult to pull off. It's going to be really, really difficult to pull off. It's going to be tough as a couple of medevacs will be setting up in the center. Just going to see Marines, more tanks showing up. The Lings and the Banes are going to continue through. Tank going to siege. The Lings and Banes running at this already. A couple of these Banes going down. Tank already gets picked off as well as we see 2 medevacs of Clem. Will come around from this left-hand side. Getting onto the creep spread here. A few of these creep tumors already going down. And pushing through. Clem going to get down to this low ground now. Can he make something happen? He's on a bit of an army supply lead. I say a bit. He's about 30 army supply up. Well, obviously, a couple of Banes get rid of that advantage very quickly as mutas are showing up as well. Obviously, later mutas here than what we've been used to in TVZ as the meta, as this was double upgrades to start. And here we go. Lings and Banes running forward. Marines have to run back, and it's just one siege tank, and I think that's a big part of the problem. Losing the 2 tanks on the top side early means you're only ever really getting 1 tank up at a time, and Clem's deciding to back away from the full-on commitment to continue to fight. 4th base, 2nd factory coming through. I mean, this is a bit more like Clem, but again, the 8 racks early definitely wanted to apply a lot of pressure here and really fight it out in the early stages. These Marines setting up in the middle, continue to push through. The mutas have to pull away. The Lings will continue across the left side as well. I'm just going to see the Marines up to the top. Lings taking a lot of damage. Mutas taking heavy damage also. 2-2 upgrades over halfway done. Drilling claws over halfway done. A lot of things improving here from Clem as he sits up 20 supply. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, look at resources lost. It's about a 1k difference. I don't think that's crazy. It's been not really too advantageous to Reynor on income until just now, but that's probably partly because Clem's sending SCVs long distancing as this 4th base gets in position. And this is kind of big, right? Clem gets a good position up here. Ling Bane counter is going to have Marines in a tank to set up as well. Just going to see these Marines continuing hatchery. Being picked away at on the top side. Just going to see a few Banes coming through. Depots will go down. A few Marines, or a few Lings, sorry, being picked away at. So, being picked away at there. The +2 armor upgrade on the engineering bay is setting up. And again, a couple of overlords being picked away at. I mean, Reynor's actually supply blocked 167 over 168 there. So that's actually a pretty big deal, is continuing to push forward. Clem using this top side avenue. Very difficult to flank this position. You've got to come around a far left side. He's going to be seen with a Widow Mine initially. So Clem knows that army is there. He's got the siege tank in the back also. The problem is he wants to run to this left side because that's where there's no creep spread. So that's why he obviously wants to try and split away from the Banelings. But when he gets stopped by the Lings, it makes that a little bit tougher. He does get away. He gets the load up. He unloads off creep. And Clem is able to keep this pressure up. Man, pretty sick game from Clem because it really feels like the sort of game that was not really going his way at all. And as you do have few Marines and medevacs in the center. Extra Banelings morphing on the ramp. And now just a lot more Marines and medevacs into the middle of the map. A 4th base is going to be accompanied by a 5th command center here soon. That's also nice because now if you get a Ling Bane attack on that 4th base, then you've got a 5th CC just to replace it right away. That's maybe one of Reynor's issues. No counters in this game so far. Very inactive in terms of being across the map and trying to deal some damage to Clem is... Well, Clem right now, big fight, and a lot of it off creep. Continue to trade well against these remaining Banes. Beautiful split backs. But he does end up losing the Thor. He loses a lot of the Marines, and Clem does drop down in supply quite a lot. But Reynor, it's not like it cost Reynor nothing. I mean, the resources lost is still only a 2k difference. See, Reynor took that lead for a while, but now Clem's kind of set up a little bit better and getting back on track. And again, he's kept Reynor to 4 bases, denying this 5th base. And of course, this 5th base now down here from Reynor, that's very droppable. That's difficult to send units to defend when you're kind of focused on the top side of the map. So now you're dragging yourself apart big time. Here on Golden Wall, with the mutas going around the top left side, they're going to see where they can get to. Probably down and darting into this mineral line right there. Would be my expectation, as we do have mutas gathering up. 3-3 on the way out, and just going to be seeing a lot of Banes moving around. Marines, tank Thor into the center. Lings being picked away at. Again, all these mutas of Reynor going to the upper left-hand side. The Bio going to stem forward, going to get up this ramp. They're going to start picking away at a lot of the creep tumors. A lot of creep tumors going down then with the Lurker Den building in the main base. Hatchery gets cancelled. Some of the overlords being chased away. The mutas get on top of this command center to the far left-hand side. That's the 5th base just dying there as the Marines show up just a little bit too late. Again, it's a little bit painful. I mean, he restarts a 5th CC. It's not the end of the world. 4 bases against just freshly up to 5 base Zerg. That's playable for Clem. It's just, imagine the position he's in if he actually gets to a 5th base, right? Obviously, that's even better for him as we see the mutas jumping straight on into this and mineral line. Widowmine hits the mutas there right away. The bio coming across. Mutas taking quite a bit of damage. As you will see, the mutas out back down the bottom side. Just going to be seeing our bio army of Clem. That's a lag spike from Romsley is going to slow this down a second and give us a moment before we resume. Hey, just want to say thank you so much, guys. I know there's a lot of subs that have just come through during this game. Obviously, I'm going to shout those all out properly after the game. I just want to keep this focus on the game when it got intense. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. Waiting for this countdown to finish up. And when Romsey is out, we can get this resumed. Actually, a good chance to take a quick breather. Kind of fun. We resume. Hattrick goes down. The bio still pressing forwards, and we are going to be seeing some of the creep spread going and falling. Actually try to take a CC down here. I guess wanted to expand in that bottom left-hand corner eventually, but the mutas in that position as well. Widowmine gets a good connection on the top side of that Ling Bane force. Well, the mutas have just been very annoying, darting one way, darting another. Clem trying to keep this busy across the map by fighting and trading out. Honestly, not that many units even here for Clem, but yeah, it's just the next round of Banes is always ready. And now, Reynor is making that transition into the Lurkers, and I think he's going to get there pretty darn successfully this time around, right? Lings and the Banes run in from Reynor. Bio fighting back a little bit. We'll load up into these medevacs. The mutas back onto the gold base. 4 SCVs down. Again, Clem is just running away from this. This Thor, I mean, it can actually get lifted up and saved. If Clem is paying attention, he does save it in the end. But now these mutas show up and loses the medevacs. 2 medevacs, 3. 2 of them are actually full of units. Now he loses a Thor because of it. Suddenly Clem just lost 30 supply. That's a little bit of a yikes, as we do see Ling Bane muta up to the top side. Bio is just going to find the Lurkers, though, unprotected. The Ling Bane went to the top, and the Lurkers were left in the middle of the map. But I think Reynor suddenly just has a bit too much running through. They're going to be seeing this entire base is going to get ransacked. And that's just going to be Lurkers burrowing up, and Reynor is going to clean out. I mean, this all kind of came out of nowhere. The mutas jumping on those medevacs. Felt like Clem had a well-controlled game here, kept Reynor on the back foot. Reynor finally find a chance to get the game going, and that's going to be Reynor taking game number 2 of this best of 5. Tying us up 1-1 in the series. Top right-hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Taking on the red Zerg. In the bottom left-hand side from Clash, we do have Reynor. Third map of this series. So again, guaranteed to go to 4 maps. Maybe we'll be lucky and get all 5 live here tonight as we bring you the action of the ESL Open Cup number 24. Every single Monday, there's the 24th ESL Open Cup. And what a finals this is. Again, we didn't get a Clem Reynor finals in this event since week 13 of these events. So it's been a while, but of course they've played plenty of times since then. Yeah, they've definitely had their fair share of meetings and greetings. Reaper on the racks as the SCV will build a command center on the natural in a few moments' time. Just going to get that command center on the natural expansion. Just going to be seeing the spawning pool going to be finishing in the mains. Again, that going. SCV of Clem will continue down the bottom left side to scout early. So SCV scouting. Pillars of Gold doesn't strike me as the sort of map you 3CC on every time. I don't think it's the map you need to necessarily open super safe on or anything, but it is a little smaller and definitely one where that third base can be, you know, maybe delayed a bit just for the second gas starport early. Very open third bases here, right? There's, you know, position here, you know, position over here. I mean, this third base is not quite as open, but once the rockets are down, lots of entryways into it. So definitely has been a feature, and we've definitely seen a lot of fighting of trying to take this base, and if you can't get this base, taking this base or this base instead. And just kind of working on these 4 bases and eventually stretching out to one of these as the Terran player. It also gives you a lot of chance, though, as the Terran to then do the same to the Zerg, right? Stretch them out one way or the other, and it's been a very active map, right? A lot of back and forth, a lot of, you know, you go this way, you go that way, really kind of going at each other's throats for, you know, an extended period. As this Reaper comes out down the low ground, third hatchery is already dropping into the 6 o'clock position, and the link speed is building. There's a couple queens coming through. Reaper going to get pushed back slightly. Creep press setting up as a grenade will go down, and that's going to be a creep tumor killed off already, so gets the creep tumor kill. Again, a couple of Hellions from Clem will be building in the main base barracks. Going to be finishing on the tech lab very soon as well. And just going to be seeing our starport is going to complete in a few moments' time. Lings are going to jump straight in onto these bricks, make their way through that, and just going to be seeing our link speed going to finish in the main base very, very soon as a Marine goes in after this Overlord. So Overlord taking quite a little bit of damage already. Again, there's that cloak already starting up on the starport here, and a grenade pops a couple of queens back. We do see the Lings trying to stop. I mean, obviously, there's the first 2 Hellions diving in. Ling speed now finishes, so the Hellions will get in. I mean, more Lings on the way, so you've kind of forced that, but there's going to be 2 Hellions for, at best, a drone and 8 Lings. I lied. 2 drones. Nice effort from Clem, really making the most of those Hellions as they got into the main. Nice quick left from Reynor on this 3-base setup, so we are going to be going for that. It's actually a medevac early from Clem, so he's going to ramp up the aggression as well. He is going to go for that Hellion drop into the main after cleaning out some of the Lings early. I mean, obviously Reynor did build new Lings, and we know that. Maybe Clem says, maybe you kind of got a bit greedy here. What a flight path this is. I mean, I can't believe he's missed pretty much every portion of Reynor's vision until... wow, even this Overlord. He's going to unload in the main base, and that's the first time you see this. As you will see the Hellions moving through and already getting a drone, make that 2. The rest of these drones taking a lot of damage as well, so that's 4, 5. So many workers going down. 6, 7. 7 drones killed off already. As these Hellions will escape away up the left. Queens will drop a couple creep tumors down, and the engineering base from Clem will finish in the back of the main base. Command center, part of the wall off on the natural, and the Hellions continuing across. Again, a couple of these creep tumors still being cleaned out as the medevac of Clem goes all the way up to the top side here. Now Queens of Reynor will move over to the right-hand side. Spire setting up from Reynor in the main, and just again our Hellions looping back around. So trying to see what they can get done as another creep tumor picks off. And our Queens and our Lings continue to make their way into this. Another creep tumor now on the side. Now Hellions setting up 1-1 upgrade, stim pack, all of this continuing. Spire building from Reynor in the main base as our Hellions are really doing a great job of this, right? I really like what they've gotten done. 9 drones, now 11 Lings. Yeah, really, these 4 Hellions have really been heroes and have really made the most of this as the medevac sets up as well. So again, the medevac out and just having it join up with the tanks and the Marines, and yeah, we'll see what this first 1-1 stim pack push can do. It's been a mixture of success in this series so far for Clem, because, you know, if you remember in the first game, as Reynor makes double Bane Nest, bit of a mistake. In the first game, he actually dove in before the medevacs were even there, and he actually went and kind of sniped a bunch of Banes and put Reynor in a bit of a tricky spot, but Reynor handled it well. And the next game, obviously kind of got cleaned up. The tanks got shut down early. It just took him so long to get anywhere useful. This time he will come straight across. I mean, first, you know, straight up, that's a dead Overlord, so he's going to get this picked off right away, and that does alert Reynor to the fact this push is coming. He just cancels the hatchery. He says, yeah, you know, I don't really want to fight this. his Bane Nest is pretty late, right? So there's no Baneland speed here. This was just fast mutas, and I don't know if he just forgot the Baneland Nest initially or something, because maybe you went to make Bane speed, and you're just meant to have, you know, be somewhat close to Bane speed right now, but we're nowhere near it. Actually kind of shocked as Reynor is supply blocked heavily here. Tanks are going to siege up. And these Marines are actually going to fight the main base. He actually started Bane speed in the main, so that Bane Nest would be quite the target as Marines go running in over here. Clem, well, he's going to start on that Bane Nest. Now, there's a Queens with a lot of transfusions naturally, and let's see what Clem can do. He creates units in, he'll start to unload. He needs to keep the medevac safe against the Queens, though. We'll lose one of them already, but he is killing Queens. Oh my god, the Queens have just all gone. He's going to lose Bane speed. Oh no, I bet he wish he kept this Bane Nest alive now. Reynor was almost so smart, but he realized his mistake, and his mistake actually would have helped him. Now he can't make any more Banes past these three. How are you going to deal with this in the main base? Reynor just fell apart a bit this game. Gets these Banes, and yeah, Clem is just using this position really well. The mutas are going to come across to the tanks, and now the Marines are going to unload to fight the mutas a little bit. Scans high ground, so he gets vision to use the tanks as well if anything's up there. These medevacs will split and go different directions. Tank will on siege, but yeah, maybe dropping back on top of the mutas wasn't the play, but back at home, Clem just continued to build. Look at how many Marines he's got in the main base. And now he can start 2-2. He's up 1-1 against 0-0. Bane speed will have to restart here. That's a long upgrade, 80 seconds or so for Baneling speed to finish. It's a long time to be with slow Banelings against a Terran who's already getting a good amount of momentum advantage in the early stage. Meters fly, and they nearly get the medevac. They just don't quite in the end. Yeah, I mean, just even the little things not quite going Reynor's way, and it'd be nice to get that. Meanwhile, already a push down the right side. Well, the first Banes are only just now on the way back up again, so it's again not like there's actually that many Banes Clem even needs to worry about. He's going to go pushing around into this fourth hatchery, which Reynor took instead of the one on the left side, remember, because he cancelled it, seeing this push was coming across. This hatchery will fall, and again, just really Clem controlling this map at the moment. I mean, Reynor's going to have this fourth base on the left side finishing up soon, but now, talking about fourth base finishing at 10 minutes, Clem just starts up his own fourth base very casually here, just in front of the third. No real concerns. He finally seems to say, okay, well, I'm just going to stop running around defending against these mutas as much and just go for a bit of a larger push across. Gets one mutalist that was reinforcing. And, well, the mutas are going to get a siege tank there. Comes at the cost of a mutalist. He reinforced Marines out too. Clem still leaves a good portion of his army out on the map and kind of scan. Obviously, the creep spread is the one thing that's okay for Reynor, but even that's not amazing. You know, considering it's a small map, being almost halfway through the center isn't exactly massively special. And it's obviously pretty kind of avenue focused, so yeah, he's done good, you know, spreading it, obviously, but it's not like it's out of this world. Oh my god, uncontrollable, but Clem runs on the creep and out of position. This set of rocks blocks him, and he loses a lot of Marines. And that's going to break Clem's momentum a little bit. Bad fight, and suddenly Reynor's going to keep pushing forward. Of course, this is off creep. Targets down this tank, but not before it gets a big shot off. Widow Mines do get burrowed, but Clem will avoid. Reynor will avoid them. Going to the top side of this instead. SCVs being ran at. They went behind the mineral line where they would have been walled off. 12 SCVs dropping. Oh, Clem just fell apart here all of a sudden. That mistake, losing too many units. A couple lips showing up, but they're not going to do much against these mutas. The Thor there, the real MVP to push those mutas. Well, not really away though, just into the main base. Clem has to scramble to defend that. Again, he's 2-2 against 1-1. That doesn't matter if you just don't have enough units. He's going to start losing more SCVs, but the Widow Mine will help him a lot. The next Widow Mine helps a bit also. The meta's going to wrap back around. There's just not enough Marines on the map for Clem. And Reynor, who is really in so much trouble this game, is just... I mean, just look at this fight, right? This just tells you everything. How badly this suddenly went for Clem. He scans the left side. He's trying to figure out where the base is. This is such a scan as well, where it's just like, man, what kind of position am I in? Like, am I dead? And he's like, am I really dead? Like, I don't quite believe it myself. He still has the upgrades, and as long as he has 2-2 versus 1-1, I'm going to believe in a trade or two to maybe bring him back a little bit, but that's not going to last forever. And obviously, he's not really rich enough to afford 3-3 right away. He's got the gas, but not really the minerals. If you build the minerals, it's very scary. If you build the upgrades, then it's very scary that you're not building Marines when you've been struggling to get Marine count up for a little while, right? It's completely, if nothing else, this completely broke Clem's momentum in the game. Suddenly, again, you're just stumbling and falling over where you kind of want to be, and I shake my head, I'm like, ugh, because it's just unfortunate, quite frankly. Bane set up in the center, more Banes on the top from Reynor. Just going to see 3-3 on the way from Clem in the main base. So he will find the chance to start now. I don't disagree with starting it now. It does not mean as much aggression from Reynor for the last few moments. Definitely makes more sense than it did a little bit ago when he could have initially started. So I like the choice of when he starts it. I mean, you do want it at some stage, right? It's still going to be, you know, persist to be one of your advantages in this. Well, Planetary Fortress to help defend this top side, of course. The meter's out on the right. There's a couple of Widow Mines going off here or there. Clem's just going to get his Planetary blown up, right? Doesn't even need to blow it up. Let's just get us around. He used a few of the Banes just before the Marines got there, I guess, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. He turns back around, trying to catch Clem looking elsewhere. As Clem maybe would have just assumed that that would have continued to run away, but Clem realized it, pulled back away. Doesn't take a big loss there, but obviously the fourth base in itself is a pretty big loss. He's going to fly the main base over, and that's always desperation, right? Where it's going to take the, you know, the orbital as a fourth. It's just not nice, right? You don't have that natural defense of the planetary or anything. Bane's already just going to roll in. First wave doing pretty good here, crashing into a lot of this. The Marines already going very low, and Clem going to lose this base on the right-hand side as well. A few extra Banes showing up. Hatchery is going to go down. A couple of Widow Mines firing up, and well, Clem trying to push forwards into this. Reynor's supply blocks, which is the one annoyance for him right now, but he loses the third base, Clem. I mean, Reynor can trade how he wants to over here. He's going to clean this up eventually, and I mean, now these Marines are kind of just left as the medevacs try and get back home. Get an Overseer here. Oop, big Widow Mine. Get an Overseer here, though, and you clean up these Widow Mines, and then Clem loses another 10 supply or so before this next fight happens. Maybe didn't need to roll the Banes into it. Clem scans the bottom right and says, that'll do it for me. GG. Got that bottom right base fully saturated. I realize I'm dead. And Reynor takes the 2-1 lead. Top right side, our red Terran player. Again, really had control of that last game, but one bad fight let it slip and the momentum fell away to the hands of his opponent. It's Clem in the top right, our red Terran. Bottom left, our blue Zerg is Reynor. One map for him. Take another ESL Open Cup. Win 2 in a row. It's kind of funny because Reynor did when he first started playing. He played 4 of these cups. And he played 1. He lost to Hero in the finals and he won 3 in a row. And then he just disappeared for 9 weeks. And then he showed up last week, won it. And now, in the prime position to do it again. Is this another 3 in a row and out? Is that the plan? Clem might be a little bit frustrated as he proxy racks is down the bottom side. This isn't just a 2 racks either. This is going to be a 3rd racks. It's just going to be seeing all 3 of these building, but Reynor is going to get the scout, and that's obviously a massive start for him. Gets the scout very early, straight through. SCV sees it. Wow. Wow, Clem tilted. I'm gonna say it. Clem's that is a bit of a tilt. GG. He's out of here. Reynor is your ESL Open Cup champion. Taking it home and wrapping.